This is Garrett from Back to Brick, and this is my second entry into the Bricklink Designer Program Series 5. The world has gone dark. A solar flare struck the Earth 20 years ago, leaving humanity without power, the internet, or hope, yet humanity persists, piecing itself back together brick by brick. Venturing through the desolate landscape, two companions stumble upon an old gas station, run down and reclaimed by nature, but there are signs that someone might still be here. This is my next entry, and through the Wasteland, what else would you need but a refuel depot, one called the Wasteland Refuel Depot. This is my creation. This is a old school gas station that has been dilapidated, taken by nature, as I said, and rebuilt with some interesting new additions. These are my companions that have wandered through the Wasteland and additional details that I'm going to run through today just to describe my design that I'm entering for Series 5. Let's start off with our two companions here. We've got a young girl with her bow and arrow ready to hunt and find food and, well, not enjoy her life that would have been with the internet, but a little bit more outside fun. And then the next is our male companion who has a little shoulder bag and walking through just as a guide and protection. Are they father and daughter? Who knows? I think as companions they could be either. That's the growth and perspective that you can have being a Lego minifigure. Some other additional details that you can add on to the set. One is our fencing. Now, our fencing is interlocking grates, or fence elements that you would see on the horizontal now have gone vertical with a little gate that has a padlock on it. It does also come with a pallet that's leaning up against it and a little vulture that's sitting on a desolate tree as, well, having no power, can't get any water, so it's just died off. Now, what's interesting is this whole section can be added to your build to have a better secured facility here, where you can have it placed across this section. Now, the gas station itself is an old school, almost 1950s, 60s style, with a sloped roof, a couple gas pumps, and a section where you can have your vehicle repaired. But that has changed a little over time, as you can see. We've got a few small plants that have broken through the cracked pavement. We've got overgrowth going here as well as growth going up the side of the building. I always like these little leaf pieces, and having them connected onto larger old school leaf pieces adds that twisted detail that you can have. That's going over the door here. Now, the door itself looks to be stuck up, so our occupant had to build a little fencing underneath, some sandbags piled up and some bricks to keep it closed. Then as we move over underneath the awning piece that is still somehow standing, we've got the steel structure kind of showing underneath that original aluminum or brick structure around it, and we've got tools in our tool chest here, and our two gas pumps. One of the gas pumps has fallen over, and it has spilled and stained the ground below it. And we've got some water dropping here, which we'll talk about once we get to the roof section, and our second one, which somehow still has a little bit of gas to it. And then we've got a barricade that was built here with the different boxes and bags trying to block off this section. Not sure what from, or just to have it as a post section where somebody can hide out. And then we have in the back here a little bit of our glass windows to the main shop. There's the glass door, but the glass has either been broken and tried to be boarded up or has been boarded up prior to breaking. Then all around, the structure used to be completely white, and as you can see, some of the stone and bricks have shown through or cracked and even completely destroyed. And there's a spare tire that probably was for a vehicle that was trying to be repaired but no longer can be since we have no power to do so. Then as we move up into the upper roof section, this is where we see that somebody may be occupying this specific gas station. We've got a lookout tower that's been built, and they've tried to come up with a radio. Maybe it's run by something else that's not electric. I guess we're going to have to find out if they're someone smart enough to rebuild and try to have a structure that outdates the solar, or is new since the solar flare. They've got a little lounge chair and a little umbrella for a little sunbathing, I would say, and a structure down here that leads into their home. The upper roof of the overall build has collapsed in this corner. That's why we see some growth as well as water dripping down into that lower section. And we have also over in the main area a hole. Hole has just collapsed in on that roof. That we'll see some of the things that have happened in the main shop. And then our gas station sign. It has a radio tower section to it, trying to communicate with anyone that might also have power. And some of the letters have fallen onto this the overall roof itself. Now, to see the inside, what's nice is this whole section here can be removed. So we're going to hide it. Going to hide that upper piece, and as you can see, we can see some of the underneath of the where a vehicle could pull in to get gas, and our main area of the shop. Oh, look at that. Someone has a generator. I guess they rebuilt their generator to have that power for the radio system. As there's a hole in the roof, this is what's happened. So there's some growth, and they've put a bucket here to collect some of that water. Maybe since it's clean or it's not clean, just maybe something to drink from it. The tiles are all cracked, and the main counter has been overgrown with some vines. There's still some money on the ground, but apparently we don't really need money to barter with. These are some of the old bags of potato chips and other things that you could have bought. Looks like they've left too. Maybe they just weren't good anymore. We have a freezer section that has some items in it that, might have been bad as they've spilled over, and looks like that has a lot of mold on it. There's some cans still here, probably stock that has been placed there from the owner of this, and a couple shelves that are still overgrown. Some bottles there. I'm going to guess that milk is also expired. And then we're going to move into another section here as we reveal this is where our main occupant has lived. There's a door, but you can't get through it as it is barricaded here with a Lego brick or piece of wood. He has a box here with fork and knife, radio possibly to work as well, and a book. But then there's a small bed as well where they can try to stay in peace in the protection of this entire section that only has one way in and out, except I guess if you go through the roof. There's some letters, a couple boxes, and a map, and some tools, as this used to be a shop for vehicles. Then they can go up onto the roof and do their search. Now, this build, I wanted to design it based on some of the post-apocalyptic things that we've seen in the media. Not our media, but in television and the creative part of TV and movies with The Last of Us, Fallout. And I always just like this design because it gives more creative detailing that you don't always have if you just build a gas station. Well, I built a gas station first. This whole thing was built brand new. Then I just took it and redid the whole thing to have this detailed section being destroyed, overrun, rebuilt. And I always thought that would be a cool model to have. It doesn't have to connect to any particular landscape, but you can always add on to it with a dilapidated vehicle or other structures, maybe containers being built around it. So many really cool ways to just add on and make it seem more dilapidated. So this is my entry 2, as entry 1 was the beekeeper's shed that you might have seen the video for before. And I'm just really proud of it. It's such a fun little set. These sections can just be lifted off, so you don't have to worry about having any attachment points to it. So you can open up and have your little playthrough in the apocalyptic areas of the store. But I wouldn't take any of the milk because it's probably expired. And you can change out your minifigures, of course, to have some of your own different companions. Maybe even have a dog or a cat. I mean, why not have an adventure cat through this apocalyptic area? So whoever lives here has been working really hard to create power and try to communicate. Have they reached anyone? We don't know. And who are they? And if they are still there, or have they left? So I hope that you get the chance to stop over at the Wasteland Refuel Depot. Don't pick up the milk, but see what else is there that you might have use for while you travel through the Wasteland. All right, thanks everyone. I'm going to post a link in the description once it has been approved so you can go and vote for it at the Bricklink Designer program area so that it can possibly become a Lego set.